Welcome, everyone. For those of you who are now able, I invite everyone to stand. President Howlett, the faculty, the staff, the officers of the university, guests, and candidates are all assembled, and the hour is at hand. With your permission, may these proceedings begin. Thank you. Please, everyone, be seated. And out of respect for our commencement ceremony and our graduates, please take a moment to ensure that your cell phones are silenced. We are so glad that you have all joined us here today. I'm the Associate Dean of the Graduate Institute, Dr. Laura Colquitt. I'm pleased to officially welcome you to today's ceremony, which is the School for International Training's 58th commencement exercise. Today, we welcome the 22 graduates of the class of 2024 who are present with us here in Vermont, joined by their family and friends. We also welcome the additional 27 graduates who join us via live stream from all corners of the world. Additionally, we welcome our alumni, our faculty, including emeritus faculty and staff. I also convey a warm welcome to our platform party, and as I introduce the members of the platform party, I ask them to please stand. Dr. Catherine Inskeep, our Dean of Assessment and Learning. Dr. Sonali Sapra, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies. Dr. Kimberly Coles, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies. Dr. Saeed Grayweed, Provost and Dean of Faculty. Dr. Sophia Howlett, President of SIT. Alan Cutler, Chair of the World Learning Board of Trustees. Dr. Joseph Lanning, Chair of our Masters in Sustainable Development Practice, and our brand new PhD in Sustainability, and our faculty speaker today. Maury Pagel, Vice President of Innovation, Strategy, and Partnerships. And finally, Jennifer Lee, Associate Vice President of Enrollment Services. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate and honor our graduates. And I would now like to invite President Howlett up to the stage.
Before we move on with our ceremony, I would like to take a minute to recognize the lands where you have studied and lived to gain your degree, both in Vermont and worldwide. Here in Vermont, SIT is the guest of this land of Wantastiquet, whose guardian is the Abenaki Nation. This year, the representative of the Abenaki Nation is unable to join us, but I know he would want us to greet you on behalf of the Abenaki and this beautiful land of Wantastiquet, where our campus and administration is based, and where we are able to hold our ceremony every year. We thank the Abenakis for their safeguarding of this land and aim to share their passion for the history, spirituality, and ecology of the places and peoples of this globe. This year, we also welcome Dr. Raed Al-Tabini, SIT Associate Professor and one of our academic directors in Jordan, who will offer a land and peoples acknowledgement on behalf of Jordan. Please come up.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace upon you. Kawai and hello. As a Jordanian from the Bedouin tribe, I stand before you deeply connected to my roots and the indigenous people and the tribes that I am part of. The Bedouin are traditionally nomadic people, known for their rich culture, deep connection to the desert, and sustainable practices developed over centuries. We acknowledge the land of Vermont, cared for by the Abenaki people for countless generations. Their wisdom, resilience, and connection to the land have sustained it and continue to guide us in how we interact with our environment. Today, I have the honor of acknowledging the land of Jordan, where many of our MA students had the privilege to study. Jordan, with its rich history and diverse landscapes, has been an inspiring place for knowledge and growth. The Bedouin people, with their profound connection to the desert and its resources, represent a way of life that is a harmony with nature. Their sustainable practices and deep respect for the land have ensured its preservation for generations. As a Bedouin, I am deeply connected to these traditions and practices. Our relationship with the land is one of the mutual respect and stewardship. We have learned to live in balance with the environment, understanding that our well-being is fundamentally connected to the health of the land we inhabit. Let us take a moment to express our gratitude for the land of Jordan and its people who have welcomed us and shared their wisdom. This acknowledgement is an act of deep humility and thanks to the land and the peoples of Jordan who have enriched our journey toward this degree. And finally, I would like to extend that gratitude to the land, community, and resources that we connect with across our 40 learning centers in 29 countries around the world. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. El-Tabini. For those of you who are interested in learning more about the Abenaki tribe, we have added 2 websites to our program where you can find many educational resources and more information about the history and current work of the Abenaki people. And I also encourage you to look into the indigenous organizations wherever you may live to consider the ways you may contribute and become involved to support their efforts. I now have the honor of delivering the welcome address to you all. As I look out on all of you today, I think about the transformations that you must have experienced during your time in the program. I think about the lessons that you've learned and the expertise that you've developed. And with all of the knowledge that you now hold, I also hope that you continue to hold on to your beginner's mind. Eckhart von Hochheim, a 13th century German philosopher, is quoted as saying, "Be willing to be a beginner every single morning." I hope that you all find ways to embrace that sentiment in your lives, because I truly believe it will make you better practitioners. I want to share a story with you all from when I was working in Haiti after the 2010 earthquake. In the 2 years following the earthquake, I worked closely with the senior advisors to the Minister of Education, supporting them in their efforts to restart and restructure the education sector in Haiti. I was a doctoral student at the time, and I was part of a small team from the University of Pennsylvania, led by my advisor, Dr. Sharon Ravitch. About a year after working with these esteemed Haitian educational leaders, I asked them one night over dinner why they had chosen to work so closely with us, this small team that had little to no resources other than our time and our brains. And for some context, by every typical standard, we couldn't begin to compare to the large international aid agencies that I saw flowing in constantly with their money and their plans. I didn't understand why this team had let us into their inner circle. Their response that night is something that I will never forget. They said that we were the first people in a constant deluge of people coming in to help after the earthquake, who asked them what their plans were, and if and how we could help. They told me that everyone else had come in with their big money, yes, and their big plans, their prefabricated plans, plans that had been implemented in other countries and were being imported there. And it's not to say that those plans didn't have worth. But what they told me that night was that we were the first people who took the time to truly listen to them from the start, and who took the time to get to know them and to understand their expertise. It's deeply sad to me that this was the case for them, and it's sad that this often happens around the world. So even with this expertise that you all now have, I hope that you still remember that you're always a learner, and that other people, particularly in contexts that you're not familiar with, they may have more relevant knowledge than you that you can learn from. And at the same time, remember that you do always have something to contribute. You can be part of building new knowledge, developing innovative solutions, and solving long-standing problems. Nothing is too big or too small for you to be a part of. I know you all want to make a change in the world. That's why you came to SIT. And I know that sometimes that can feel daunting. As the world moves from one crisis to the next, I know how overwhelming it can feel at times. I know that sometimes things may feel so big and so overwhelming that you may start to wonder if you can make a difference at all. If and when that thought crosses your mind, I want you to remember a quote from an Indian guru of the last century, Nisargadatta Maharaj, who stated, "Wisdom is knowing that I am nothing. Love is knowing that I am everything. And between the two, my life flows." It is in that flow state that you can make a difference. It is in sitting with both the insignificant and the significant, the expertise and the novice, the hope and the fear, the dark and the light, the patience and the drive, that you can begin to see a new way forward. And I hope that you continue to explore those contradictions and connections throughout your life. I have no doubt that it will be an ongoing challenge. But the more you push yourself beyond binary thinking, the more you will be positioned for continued transformations as you move forward on your path, wherever it may lead you. Thank you very much. And I now invite our president, Dr. Sophia Howlett, to deliver her remarks to the graduates. Dr. Howlett holds a PhD in European Renaissance philosophy and literature from York University in the UK, and an MA in English literature from Cambridge University. After a distinguished career in international higher education, she came to SIT and has now led us for 7 years and counting. Please welcome President Sophia Howlett.
It is always my absolute honor to offer some very brief remarks to our graduands. Brief, but I always hope that there is something that you will consider from this day into the next stages of your life and career. Today, I want to talk about what we, the faculty and staff of SIT, and you, our graduands, now share. There is so much, but hopefully just a few examples will suffice. We have a shared sense of place. It is my privilege as the president of this institution, along with many of those on this platform and in our audience, to have been to many of the places where you have studied, performed field trips, and researched. You have spent your graduate and maybe some of your undergraduate years with us, and now we share those amazing common mental spaces, memories, sensations, of all those places where you have been. I can close my eyes and I am on the foothills around Kathmandu, where the smoke of early morning fires are rising from the valley, and the prayer flags are stirred by the breeze and the sun hits the mountains in the distance. I can close my eyes and be in the jungles of Zanzibar, feeling the humidity, but hearing just around the corner the waves of the Indian Ocean breaking on the shores of Stone Town. I can recall the clear, calm desert evenings of Amman and the full moon above the silent city as the traffic finally subsides. And I feel again those hot, lazy afternoons in the Amazon with children fishing for piranhas at the lake's edge. We also share a set of values. Yesterday, we had a wonderful event here to celebrate our 60th anniversary. And Senator Patrick Leahy, who is of course here with us today, reminded us then of the importance of the individual action to help. I was taken back immediately with an experience that I shared with some of the students sitting here today and online with us. Only just 3 weeks ago, when I was in Zaret's refugee camp, up by the Syrian border in Jordan. I can see some nods. Yes. We were privileged to be the guests of an amazing NGO, and I went with some of our undergraduate students up there. It's right by the border. It's Syrian refugees. It's right now, I think, about 30,000, though I think in the past it's been about 80,000 people in that camp. It's actually also right next door to where Dr. Al-Tabini calls home. So it's in the Bardia, the home of the Bedouins. And of course, it was one of those life-changing experiences that my time with SIT has all too often provided. One of the things that I saw was that this camp was poised at a really crucial point between being the temporary refuge that it was meant to be, a place for Syrians who were fleeing across the border from southern Syria during the civil war, and becoming a permanent, non-official town. The same was true of the people. They had been welcomed, supported, and hosted by the peoples of Jordan. But they are in a legal place where they could not be citizens and cannot be citizens, which means they can't legally work. But they need to work to live. And certainly, they are not able to rebuild their lives or plan for the future. We visited the women's and children's clinic there, And I was told by the gynecologist, the OBGYN, that they had already delivered 18,000 babies during the past 3 years. And when I said, well, what happens next? They said, everything is perfect here. We are able to do everything for the women, the men, the children. They have subsidized housing. You know, they get their benefits. We can support them. And they have. They've done an amazing job. But what then? We see the future of Syrian refugees in Turkey being debated right now. And of course, we can extend this example of Zaret's to so many other places and peoples across the world. What will be the future? Who will think it through? Who will lift a hand to act, as Senator Leahy told us? If not you. I hope that your education at SIT has prepared you to be that person, whether through the educative process, your experiences, the values we now share, of social justice, diversity, inclusivity, and access, community, the decolonizing act of seeing otherwise. Finally, I was reminded, Dr. Bruce Dayton was talking yesterday as well. He was reminding us of Benedict Anderson's notion of imagined communities for nations, the nation state. He also reminded us that the world has no governance. Obvious, I know, but so important to the way that we must go about changing our world. Without a government, he reminded us, we need shared global governance, shared global spaces, places and spaces where we can come together to negotiate and deal with the critical global issues that confront us today, and that are so much greater than any one specific person, country, or region. It struck me that while SIT may not be a country, it is a global imagined community that extends to every continent of our planet. We close our eyes and remember those places and spaces from across the world that we share. We think and act with a shared set of values that surmount borders. Together with our NGO, World Learning, we are a community that works together. You, our students, our staff, faculty, leadership, our alumni, our friends, and all the communities that we live and work with globally. We aim to create a space where we can envision a better world, a world that focuses on healing, education, respect and appreciation for the other, a world where each of us lifts up our hand to help, sets our mind to the solutions. You became a member of that community when you started with SIT, but today you step forward into your full role. It is your hand that must be there to help, and your mind that we look to provide solutions. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce this year's keynote speaker. Senator Patrick Leahy is the longest-serving U.S. Senator in Vermont history. He represented the state for 8 terms before his retirement in 2023. He served as President pro tempore of the Senate twice and chaired 3 major committees: Appropriations, Judiciary, and Agriculture. During his 48-year tenure of service in Congress, Senator Leahy was largely regarded as the Senate's foremost leader on human rights issues in U.S. foreign policy. One of his crowning achievements is the Leahy Law, which bars U.S. foreign aid support to units of foreign militaries that violate the rights of their citizens. He was also the lead author of legislation banning the export of anti-personnel landmines and established the Leahy War Victims Fund, which helps civilians maimed by landmines and other weapons of war. Domestically, he strongly supported issues on agriculture, environmental protection, technology, and healthcare. He brought several born-in-Vermont ideas into nationwide policy and programs, securing annual funding for Lake Champlain, supporting our dairy industry, and adding more than 140 acres to the Green Mountain National Forest. Currently, Senator Leahy holds an appointment as a distinguished fellow at the University of Vermont. And today, we have a special announcement to make. On this 60th anniversary of SIT, we are delighted to award SIT's first honorary doctorate to Senator Patrick J. Leahy. Senator, thank you very much for waiting to get this doctorate for a number of years, but we wanted it to coincide with the awarding of our first ever generation of doctoral students for their doctorates too, so you will all be graduating together. Senator Leahy has had an extraordinary career, ensuring that the United States is open to the world and the world is open to us. Without his work, World Learning, SIT, along with many others, would not have been able to achieve so much. Senator Leahy, thank you for your dedication to human rights, foreign policy, and so much more, including everything that you have done for our home state of Vermont. In recognition of your extraordinary career and contribution to the ongoing work to promote global thinking and intercultural communication, it is therefore my very great pleasure to award you an honorary doctorate. We have a hood. You feel good? Consider this a rehearsal. Sit down and strangle you. Yeah. All right. On the recommendation of the faculty, and by the authority granted by the state of Vermont and vested in the Board of Trustees of World Learning and the School for International Training, and by them delegated to me, I am pleased to confer upon Patrick Joseph Leahy the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Alan, would you like to take his hand? Yeah? There we go. Thank you. I now invite Leahy to deliver our keynote address.
Doctor, thank you very, very much. I was listening to your remarks and Dr. Altabini's remarks and Dr. Colgate's remarks, and I'm thinking, and I'm watching my wife tell me to move the microphone. I wouldn't be here without her. But go ahead, she deserves the applause. But you know, I'm hoping the students will have listened to the comments that have been made. I go to a lot of graduations, and some of the speeches are very good, and some of them are speeches. These were very good, because what you're doing, you're speaking to the conscience of the students, and you're speaking to the conscience of our country. And I hope everybody everybody listens. Listen to what the World Board Chair, Alan Cutler, said, what World Learning CEO Carol Jennings has said, and President Hallett, what you and the World Learning Team have done. This is important. I know yesterday how much we enjoyed it. I appreciate you turning the rain off for today. I was here for the 25th anniversary. I am 114 years old, so I could do that. But and I can only think how great you were on your 25th, but how much greater you are today. And we had a lovely time, Marcel and I did, visiting with old friends yesterday. We're sitting down with some of the refugees who are making a new home here in southern Vermont. Thank you, southern Vermont, for welcoming them, and thank you for coming. And we got a chance to share a few ideas of what learned about the state and our country. And we spent the night at the home of Jen Bacchus and Ed Pagano, our dear friends, and the discussions, I think it'd be safe to say, went across the spectrum. But throughout it all, we talked about how good all of you are and what you have done for not only for Vermont, of course, but for our nation and for the world. I paraphrase my good friend, and he is my good friend. We were started off as the two youngest members of the U.S. Senate a long time ago, and that's Joe Biden. He says, and to paraphrase him, I say, the state of SIT is strong. And I have so much hope for the future after meeting your faculty, your students, your alumni, and the people of Windham County. This is a future one can believe in. And I also want to thank you, Madam President, and the entire SIT faculty, the board, and the staff for this wonderful honorary degree. I'm kind of touched by being part of the first doctoral class of SIT, even though the rest of you worked a heck of a lot harder than I did. As many of you know, my wife is a registered nurse, and now I'm a doctor. Don't tell her, but I'll still take orders from her. But seriously, today is not about me or what I've done in the world. It's about what you are going to do. Because you're our future. You're who we believe in. So I want to start, number one, by saying you're each uniquely privileged to have studied SIT. SIT is not only one of Vermont's most treasured institutions, it is one of the most important institutions in the world when it comes to world peace and global understanding, international education, world health, and now, unfortunately, climate change. I often say SIT is not the window to the world. SIT is the door to the world. Now, as a senator, I've had the privilege of traveling to more than 40 countries. I've been there with Marcel in war zones, in disaster zones like Haiti. But everywhere we went, we found people who had been touched and shaped by this institution, by the Peace Corps sent their volunteers to be trained here starting 60 years ago, and by the programs built by your graduates. This small little Vermont Institute of Higher Learning has produced multiple Nobel Peace Prize winners, senators, global leaders, activists who have led the fight for peace and justice, sustainable development, and opportunity on every continent in this globe. And I really can't wait to see what you will do, because I know it will be even better. Now, the world is filled with people who want to be the best. I've seen that trait in international diplomacy as well. And you can hear it on the campaign trail from some people, some who know what they're talking about and some who talk. But we all do better when we actually focus how we can make the world better. So don't worry about being the best. Worry about making things better for everybody. That's what's important. That's what I've learned from SIT. And that's what I hope it is taught. Every time I step on this campus and I listen to the projects and programs you're all leading, I'm filled with pride. I didn't do that. I'm filled with so much hope for the world, so much pride for SIT, but it's especially the hope for the world because of what you do. And take the time to listen. Look beyond appearances. Don't be intimidated by bigger players. And remember, it's actions, not rhetoric, that makes a country great. Don't ever forget that. SIT is an institution, proud of your graduates. You've succeeded. I really like describing you this way. Scrappy, innovative, and creative. Is that a pretty good acronym? You aren't afraid to throw out old models, embrace new approaches. You punch way above your weight. You're not afraid of challenges. So the last thing I'll say, you can leave this campus, but you can never leave SIT. The joy in learning, the cross-cultural understanding you acquire, the people you meet, they're never going to leave your heart. And for you master's students, you can always come back for your PhD. We doctors would be proud to welcome you to our ranks. You have to work a lot harder for it than I did, but I will be so proud of you because I am so happy for this opportunity, and I thank you all very, very much. Okay.
Thank you very much for being here with us today, Senator Leahy, along with your amazing wife, Marcel. It was a pleasure to hear your stories yesterday at the 60th anniversary celebration, and we were very grateful that you were able to deliver our keynote address today. And I'm honored that we are awarding you with an honorary doctorate. It is now my pleasure to introduce this year's faculty speaker, Dr. Joseph Lanning. Dr. Joseph Lanning is an educator, practitioner, and researcher active in sustainable development and food systems with a regional focus on Southern Africa. His research focuses on the mixed livelihoods of rural Malawians as they navigate environmental, climate, and economic risk and uncertainty in their efforts to achieve food security. He has conducted extended ethnographic research with farmers in Malawi examining agricultural decision-making. His recent collaborative research examined food insecurity and mental health among postpartum women in Malawi. Dr. Lanning is an associate professor and chair of our Global Master's Program in Sustainable Development Practice and oversees our undergraduate international honors program in food systems. Additionally, he will be chairing our brand new PhD in sustainability starting in 2025. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Joseph Lanning.
Yeah, there we go. Faculty and staff, members of the World Learning Community, Honorable Senator Leahy, proud families, cherished friends, and most importantly, our graduates here today, and those watching online. It's a profound honor to speak with you as a representative of the SIT faculty. Quick note, I've got 2 kids under the age of 4. So I'm very excited for the rare chance to talk for 5 minutes without being interrupted. I might even talk for 6. I'm feeling very inspired this morning looking out on all of you. The SIT Graduate Institute is renowned for its commitment to social justice, intercultural understanding, and sustainability. To all of us here, these values are not abstract principles. They're the very essence of the education you've received and the foundation of what we, the faculty, have attempted to nourish in your heads and hearts. Graduates, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the potential for change that surrounds you in this moment. This is truly your time as an individual and as a collective to step forward with your colleagues around the globe and take action by using the knowledge and skills you've each gained to create something, do something, say something. Not alone, but together. SIT has been a part of my own life for 26 years now. I started as an undergraduate on a study abroad program in Kenya in the 90s. It was my first time abroad, and one of the first times I'd been more than a state away from New York. I would not have the honor of standing here as a faculty member with you today without having done it. When I look back on my own SIT program, as I'm certain is true for you, I remember that it had its challenges and discomforts. As I learned then, as I tell my students now, if you weren't a little comfortable on an SIT program, we faculty probably didn't do our jobs very well. This discomfort doesn't stop. How you handle it hopefully improves. And we hope that we've helped prepare you for it moving forward. I've had the great privilege in my own educational journey to build on my time as an SIT student and spend a significant amount of time in Malawi, Africa, as a Peace Corps volunteer, a researcher, and a teacher. Some of that time has been with some of you, in fact. In Malawi, many folks consider the chameleon with great reverence, and those who know me well may have heard me tell this story before. So what's so special about a chameleon that it deserves its own graduation speech? Think about it for a minute. The first thing that usually comes to mind for most folks is that they can change their colors to blend into their environment. They adapt. But they have another important trait. They can move their eyes independently. One eye can be looking forward while the other is looking back. It's particularly useful hunting small insects. It always amazes me that they can have one eye on where they're going, one eye on where they've been, and all the while be changing and adapting to the moment that they're in. As you complete this important rite of passage today from student to alumni, I want you to remember the chameleon. I want you to be the chameleon. We're always experiencing a liminal phase between what we were and what we're becoming, between what we know and what we have yet to learn. First, I ask you to keep honing that ability to adapt, adjust, and react thoughtfully and critically to the moment you're in. We inhabit a world of conflict, confusion, and change, one that is always in transition. I'm certain that your time at SIT has helped hone your ability to navigate this uncertainty with curious compassion. You've increased your ability to both wonder and wander interculturally. You've enhanced your plasticity, acclimating to new places and cultures and different ways of knowing and being. Your education has strengthened your ability to adapt while helping you identify your values as a global citizen. Next, I ask you to keep one eye looking forward. Always keep an eye on your future self. There was a time when starting your graduate program was the thing in front of you. Now it might be starting a new job, getting a promotion, embarking on a career change. It might be bringing the learning from your capstone or your dissertation to bear on the world's challenges. I want you to keep learning, imagining, and innovating as you move towards what is possible. Next, I ask that you keep one eye looking back. Keep an eye on us, your faculty and advisors, to those who participated in and informed your research, to the communities you learned in, with, and from, to the many folks at SIT and World Learning who taught and inspired you, to the friends and family who supported you and many who are here today, and to your fellow graduates of this inspired institution. Keep one eye looking back, of course, to see where you've been and remember what you've learned, but also to see us cheering you on in your successes and encouraging you when you stumble on the road beyond SIT. Now, graduates and guests, faculty and friends of SIT, please take a minute to look at the cameras, to see all of our colleagues who are online. Give them a wave. Look to your right, look to your left, look forward and back to the SIT and World Learning community of scholar practitioners who are your allies and partners in moving towards a more just and sustainable future. This collective crowd of compassionate, curious, and competent people is enough to overwhelm. Please, let's give ourselves and each other a great round of applause. Thank you. Now if anybody asks how my speech went, I can say I got a big round of applause at the end. Finally, I urge you to embrace this moment of transition with optimism and courage. The world needs your compassion, your creativity, and your commitment. As you turn the next page, remember that you are change makers, innovators, and leaders. Let's commit to both acknowledging the difficulties we face while celebrating the moments of connection, learning, and growth. It's a balanced perspective that will guide you as you move forward, allowing you to approach the critical global issues of our time with both hope and determination. SIT will always be a part of you, just as this exceptional class of graduates will always be a part of SIT. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. And now we have two student speakers, one to represent our masters, graduating masters, and the second to represent our graduating doctoral students. So it's now my pleasure to introduce this year's first student speaker, Abel Leweli. Abel has significantly contributed to community development at home in Liberia and internationally. He served as the reporting and documentation officer for the Trauma Healing and Reconciliation Program of the Lutheran Church in Liberia and served as a lecturer at Liberia's United Methodist University. He is the founder and executive director of Camp for Peace Liberia, an organization dedicated to youth empowerment and peace building. He has served as an international fellow at the US State Department, collaborated with the Fellowship of Reconciliation in New York, and was a Nexus Fellow, where he participated in a learning exchange in Uganda, broadening his vision for vocational training for vulnerable youth populations. Abel is currently a board member and Africa representative of the International Camping Fellowship, chairman of the Board of Education for the Lutheran Training Institute, and is a member of the Board of Trustees of the Lutheran University in Liberia. And may I also just add, on a personal note, Abel, we're so thrilled that you're sitting here with us today because I know it was really hard, the journey to get here to Vermont. So we're just thrilled to have you and to invite you up to be our first student speaker.
Distinguished guests, faculty, fellow graduates, joy, marking the culminations of years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. I'm deeply honored to serve to brief you with few reflections, starting with the transformative power of education. Throughout my journey, I have come to understand the profound power of education. Every step I take on this educational path yields positive results, not just for myself, but for the hundreds of people that I strive to help. For many of us, this journey has not been easy. We face numerous challenges, obstacles ranging from finances, social, and emotional. Yet we persisted because we believe in the promise of a brighter future. We believe that through education, we could not only change the world for ourselves, but also for the many people that we serve. Our journey to this movement was not travel alone. We were supported by our families, friends, professors, and communities. This brings me to the second reflection, the power of community. Growing up in my small village in northern Liberia, I witnessed the power of unity and collective responsibility in my village. This sense of community taught me that no matter how difficult the circumstances, we can overcome challenges together. One of the most enriching aspects of our time here at SRG has been the diversity of our learning community. We come from different countries, cultures, and backgrounds, each of us bringing unique perspectives and experiences. This diversity has been a source of strength and inspiration throughout our studies. It has broadened our horizons, challenged our assumptions, and enriched our learning. As we move forward, let us embrace this diversity in all that we do and strive to create inclusive communities where everyone feels valued. Despite the hardship we face in Liberia, the lack of basic infrastructure to the aftermath of 14 years of conflict, some of us never gave up. We have always found innovative ways to learn and inspire others. Imagine being a student at the universities and studying on firelight at night, or attending college without food, shelter, transportation, or even notebook to write. These are the realities that generations of the 21st century will find it very hard to believe. But they are realities that some of us have lived through. It takes resilience to confront these challenges and push forward. As we graduate today, I urge all of us to carry the power of resilience and perseverance. It empowers us to face future challenges with courage and determination. As graduates in our various disciplines, ranging from climate change to sustainable development, etc., we hold the keys to a sustainable future. By applying the skills and knowledge we've developed here at SOG, we can address pressing issues such as climate change, resource management, and social inequalities. Let us commit to using our skills and knowledge to uplift our communities, protect our environment, and foster economic growth that benefit all. In closing, I want to remind each of us that our stories do not end here. This graduation is not a destination, but a launching pad. Let us follow the lessons we've learned, the friendship we've made, and the dreams we have nurtured. Let us be the change makers, the visionaries, the leaders that our world so desperately needs. Thank you to our faculty, staff, and administration of SRT for believing in us and for providing us with the tools to succeed. Thank you to our families and friends for their unwavering support and love. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations. Let us go forth and make a difference in our respective communities and countries. Thank you, and may God richly bless you.
Thank you so much, Abel. Thank you. And now our second speaker. We will be hearing from our first ever doctoral speaker, Anna Gail Conker. Anna Gail has over 10 years of experience working with youth and young adults as a volunteer manager, educator, residential life director, and traveling group facilitator. Building on her graduate studies in social justice and international education, Anna Gail has worked with World Learning's youth leadership and peace-building programs, facilitating workshops on current issues and youth activism with the Governor's Institutes of Vermont, and traveling with and supporting students from the London X and Iraqi Young Leaders Exchange Program for 2 years. In 2013, she was the Trustees Fellow for the inaugural year of the IHP Human Rights Program. From 2010 to 2015, she worked in residential life at Victoria University of Wellington and supported human rights education with the Holocaust Centre of New Zealand. From 2015 to 2021, Anna Gail was the program manager here at SIT for IHP, where she worked with in-country partners and traveling faculty to run semester-long global comparative programs centered on social justice for undergraduate students. And that's where I had the honor and privilege to first meet her. And so it's a special honor to be able to award her her doctorate just a little later in this ceremony. But first there's a speech to get through, Anna Gail. So I'd like to introduce you all to Anna Gail Conker. Come on up, Anna Gail. Thank you.
Can you see? Oh, greetings, dear faculty. Okay. I'll start. That's my little one out there. Thank you, faculty, fellow graduates, Senator Leahy, to our community and loved ones here, online, and also beyond. It is an honor to be standing up here. What an opportunity to be part of the inaugural graduating doctoral cohort of SIT and to be a part of this powerhouse of an amazing women. Senator Leahy. The campus holds a special place in my heart and has been an integral part of my learning and professional journey nearly a decade. Many of us in this graduating class have been participants, even a few employees of affiliates, partners, and programs of World Learning, SIT, and the Experiment in International Living. I also have the honor, as Dr. Howlett has mentioned, having touch points with each of these arms as an SIT Master's PIM student, a group leader with World Learning Youth Programs, traveling with IHP, working with the Experiment U.S. Youth Ambassadors. Some would say I must really be devoted to this place. And others would say that I might be out of my mind. But I also grew up here as an educator, as a scholar, and a working parent. Like our fellow graduates, the connection to this place is important to us. The mission of striving to center social justice and the work that we do, it's extremely important. I think of the devoted staff, you all doing the scenes, behind the scenes, to make this program happen, and also dear faculty who have been helpful, patient, and willing. Thank you. Thank you, Sora, Melissa, Meg, especially to David and Deepa, who were on my advising committee, and to Allah. All your heart in our scholarly work and personal and professional development is appreciated. Thank you for your thoughtful care for us, not just intellectually as students, but also as humans, as professionals undergoing career changes, as mothers with sick children, many of us who experienced grief and loss during this doctoral journey. Thank you. Our cohort was often referred to as the guinea pigs, this new doctoral program, but also during the COVID pandemic and experiencing, as well as many of us who were studying, the ripple of the pandemic on education and living it. There's always room for improvement after the first go around, and we really laid a foundation. And to counter the commodification of education whilst also participating in the system, that's hard. Former SIT faculty member from the master's program many moons ago in that building right across the way, Janaki Natarajan, in her social justice and education course, I first started thinking critically about the systemic inequities in the US education system. And she would say, we live in this world as we work to fight against it. We live in this world as we work to fight against it. So how do we fight it? But then also, how do we transform it? As my husband, Aaron, likes to remind me often. It makes me think of our 3-year doctoral journey. If I were to find a resonating theme as a qualitative researcher, it would be the power of collective energy. In a society where profit and accumulation of wealth is valued over the welfare of people in our natural environment, where individual or personal freedoms are valued more than the whole community through means of competition, dehumanization, and disregard of living beings, it can be maddening, disappointing, and saddening. But I am made hopeful by the power of the collective energy. This mindset was nurtured here, from the social justice coursework to the radical educators and our IHP program directors and organizers who cultivated communities of collective care, modeling it for students who studied abroad on our programs. So not only in the study, but in the practice, I have experienced and witnessed this collective energy, so much so that it was the center of my research, a learning collective established by Filipinx American mothers. And in our doctoral cohort, where we gathered in times of small and big wins, grief and loss, stress and frustrations with the institution, and major milestones. But the collective energy is not just a gathering of people, but holding the common will that pushes us to work for a world for all, not just a select privileged few. It is the power of the collective energy that is of utmost importance given the environmental, political, and social states of crisis we are facing today. I do recognize the privilege we all carry, ability to travel to this scenic place, to stand on this land, and the positionality we hold as doctors of education. And we will all return to our corners of the world after this celebration with our spheres of influence and also our connections to one another. I am cognizant of the ripple effects of positive change each of you are already making and will continue to make. I think those impacts are much greater than we may expect or even get to witness in this lifetime. I am so grateful our paths crossed 3 years ago. I am so grateful for the opportunity to learn and to learn from each of you. May we continue to support, challenge, and celebrate one another. I am thankful to all the educators, changemakers, and scholars who came before us, especially those who filled these classrooms and cultivated critical thinkers, innovators, and creatives. And now here we are behind laptops, screens, and Canvas posts. We change along like the chameleon. But may we and the educators, changemakers, and scholars to come after keep at the heart the work for a world that benefits all. I want to close with one story. One, to recognize my family, who I would not be standing here without them. That Kotatui, my oldest, he shared so much pride after his mama defended, and he was telling everyone, Mama is now a doctor. And the small one, Almario, she's like, do you give shots to people? When I shared this with fellow graduate Joya, she said, yes, dear, shots of knowledge and enlightenment. So to our dear cohort, to Casey, Adeline, Rachel, Anna, Tanya, Joya, Kristen, Annie, and Elizabeth, we are cheering you on. And to future cohorts, may the work we put out into the world bring knowledge and enlightenment. May they be used to heal, not just repair broken systems, but also envision new ways of learning, teaching, living, and being. Thank you all.
wish I had a moment to recover from that. Whew. Thank you to both of our student speakers. I do need a minute. That was a very touching speech. As a mother myself, you just really got me, and I know how much you all have gone through and how much you all have fought to get to this moment, and you deserve it. Okay, so the time has come. We will be conferring degrees to our graduating students. So at this time, will the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts please rise or raise your hand as you're willing and able, either here in person or online? President Howlett, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty and the vote of the Board of Trustees, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree of Master of Arts in recognition of their successful completion of all degree requirements.
Okay, so this is the best part of my job. On the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority granted by the State of Vermont and vested in the Board of Trustees of World Learning and the School for International Training, and by them delegated to me, I am pleased to confer upon the candidates the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Graduates, please indicate your new status by transferring your mortarboard tassel from right to left. There we go. Congratulations. We welcome you to the company of scholars. Graduates, as you come forward, our staff will assist you. As you walk across the stage, you will have your name read by Professors Ali DeGang, Bruce Dayton, Sora Friedman, Leslie Turpin, and Joseph Lanning, while Associate Vice President of Enrollment Services, Jennifer Lee, places your master's hood upon you, and Dean Colcott assists me in presenting you with your diploma cover and congratulating you. After leaving the stage, please return to your seats and remain seated for the remainder of the ceremony. I now invite the faculty readers to join us at the right of the stage. I also invite Dean Colcott and Alan Cutler, Chair of the World Learning Board of Trustees, to join me in congratulating the graduates as they cross the stage.
Masters of Arts in Diplomacy and International Relations, Andy Dayashima Ukuru. And watching online, Jack Fitzgerald. Masters in Arts in Humanitarian Assistance and Crisis Management. Catherine Brooke Ferrarini. Brittany Sage Lavallee. Adna Mojovic. Megan Elizabeth C. Victoria Weiss. And watching online, Hassan Tala Ak Hateb. Sharon Edna Formuniam. Kevin Lamont Jordan. And Annie Kamara.
Master of Arts in International Education. All of our graduates are attending remotely. Ellen Margaret Fialka. Alexandra Elizabeth Kearns. Jill Lynn Ridling. Matthew Zittrich. Heather Michelle Lynn Demarest. Crystal Anna Mitra. Ryan Kevin Monahan.
Master of Arts in Sustainable Development, Leah Hart. Abel Lirweli. Fine Lillian Libari. Stephen Okot. And listening from far and away, Kiyoka Miura, Joanna Peisan Lee, also listening from afar, Jenny Sansoring, Livia Emily Petzinger, Masters of Art, listening from abroad in Climate Change and Global Sustainability, Forrest Becker, Nicholas McDonough Land Kozlowskis, Jamie Nicole Matthews, Emily Grace Rockford, Callie Ray Trainer, Onassis Olias Vlakis, sorry if I messed that up, and Alexandra Mary Welch.
And for the Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, That was Ash, Alangina. Catherine Margaret Clark. Keith Paul Matthew Jr. Zachary Lawrence Smythe. And last but not least, Kimber Lynn Summers.
Attending remotely for the Masters of Arts in Intercultural Service, Leadership, and Management, Emily Macon Mays. Jessica Haskell Marker. And Erin Kathleen Ruth Riding.
Congratulations to you all. And, oh, I'm sorry, 1 second. Oh, yes, I lost my place, but I'm back. Okay. Congratulations to you all, the master's student. And now this year, we have this special honor, as we have noted, of awarding degrees to our first ever class of doctoral students. At this time, will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Education please rise or raise your hand as you're willing and able, either here in person or online? President Howlett, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty and the vote of the Board of Trustees, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree of Doctor of Education in recognition of their successful completion of all degree requirements.
On the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority granted by the State of Vermont and vested in the Board of Trustees of World Learning and the School for International Training, and by them delegated to me, I am pleased to confer upon the candidates the degree of Doctor of Education, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Graduates, you know the drill. Please indicate your new status by transferring your mortarboard tassel from right to left. Congratulations. We welcome you to the company of scholars. Please be seated. Graduates, as you come forward, our staff will assist you. Since your program chair, Dr. Alacourge, is not able to be with us today, your names will be read by Professor Sora Friedman in her stead. Your primary or secondary advisor will then place your doctoral hood upon you, and Dean Colcott will assist me in presenting you with your diploma cover and congratulating you. After leaving the stage, please return to your seats and remain seated for the remainder of the ceremony. I now invite Professors Sora Friedman, Melissa Watley, and Deepa Srikantiya to the platform. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I also invite Dean Colcott and Alan Cutler, Chair of the World Learning Board of Trustees, to join me at the podium to congratulate the graduates as they cross the stage. Graduates, now please rise. And come forward to have your name read.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Howlett. And I just want to send a special greeting to Dr. Ala Korj and her 6-week-old baby, which, as we all know, is the only reason she is not here with you all today. It is my honor to start by recognizing Dr. Kristen Labs online as well. I want to start it with our online compatriot who couldn't be here today as well. Kristen, congratulations to you. Dr. Casey Aldrich. Dr. Annagel Liwag Kaunka. Dr. Adeline Jenny DeAngelis. Dr. Rachel Adele Lickman. Dr. Anna Nicole Kelly. Dr. Tanya Marie Kramer. Dr. Jayashri Sarkar. Congratulations. Congratulations to you all, amazing educators that you are. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, to all of our, oh, you may sit down. Sit down. As you can see, it's a very big day. A really true sign of how far we have come as an institution. So we're just so grateful to this first graduating class. All our graduate masters faces and hear the voices of many of your professors. This is an appropriate moment for you to thank them for the role. They were the people who were on the phone saying, "And where is your first draft?" To thank them for the role, the process of educating you. Will the faculty stand and be recognized? And I want to note all the faculty around the world who I'm sure are joining us today who are not sitting here as well. So we remember them and recognize them too. In addition, today would not have been possible without the support and encouragement of your family and friends. It is your parents, partners, and children, your friends, both those outside the Graduate Institute and within, including SIT's dedicated staff, who have been there to support you in your quest for education. I ask the parents, partners, children, relatives, friends, and staff members who have encouraged and helped these graduates to please stand if you are able and be recognized. I would now like to ask Maury Pagel, Vice President of Innovation, Strategy and Partnerships, to come to the podium to welcome our graduates to the worldwide community of SIT alumni. Before he gives his remarks, I would like to share that you have all been given a commemorative water bottle for sustainable drinking, courtesy of our Alumni Engagement Office. We hope that you will carry it with you, use it often, and reminded that wherever you go, you're a part of the SIT community. Maury.
Congratulations, graduates. It is truly my pleasure to now officially welcome you to the SIT and World Learning alumni family. The alumni community is a vibrant and growing network of more than 125,000 changemakers from all parts of the globe. When I meet someone on a plane or at a conference or at a community event and they are doing something good in the world, more often than not, they are an SIT or World Learning alum. You will find your SIT alumni engaged in amazing work across the full spectrum of social impact fields, and we eagerly look forward to hearing where your SIT degree takes you. SIT students, alumni, faculty, and staff share a bond born out of choosing to educate ourselves about our world's most pressing issues, not just from textbooks, but by engaging directly with those whose lives and livelihoods are impacted by and shaping the responses to those issues. In so doing, we have hopefully learned how to learn from those that are different from ourselves. My hope for you as alumni is that that learning will never stop. Today is also momentous as SIT awards its first ever doctorates. To all our newly minted doctors, a special congratulations to you. And for those of you receiving your master's degrees today, I can't forget to say, if your future learning goals ever include a doctorate, please know that in addition to our EDD in global education, SIT has launched 2 new PhD programs beginning next year. A PhD in international relations and a PhD in sustainability. So today is about celebrating all the hard work and contributions you've already made while earning your degree. I'm here to remind you that The Office of Alumni Engagement looks forward to celebrating all your future successes and accomplishments as well. We hope you will continue to stay engaged with the SIT community in the years to come. Please join us for alumni gatherings in your local community and keep an eye out for virtual events too. I encourage you to maintain the connections you've made during your SIT educational journey, and please stay in touch with us. Our contact information is easy to remember, alumni@sit.edu. So I will leave you with one parting thought, and that is that one of the most important ways you as alumni can give back to SIT is to help more emerging change makers and leaders find their way to us. So congratulations again. We're excited to see all the ways that you will continue to make our world more sustainable, peaceful, and just. Thank you.
On this day, the 10th day of August, in the year 2024, the School for International Training has officially conferred degrees on these graduates. Graduates, go forward with courage and grace, carrying with you the traditions, strengths, and vision of this institution. On behalf of the trustees, faculty, and staff, I declare that the 58th annual commencement exercises of the SIT Graduate Institute have now concluded. A little housekeeping, our warm congratulations, a few housekeeping notes. Please pick up your diplomas in room 201 of the Leahy International Center. Students may return SIT regalia to room 201 of the Leahy International Center if they wish. Students may keep their gowns, hoods, and caps. Faculty and platform party members, please return your regalia to IC 220 and 101, respectively, and to everyone else. Please join us as our guests for a reception here in the Leahy Center. And now, as our band leads our recessional from this place, we ask the audience to please remain in your places until the academic procession, first the platform party, then the faculty, and finally our graduates have recessed. Thank you.